The Claymore mine. This is a popular weapon in the movies, showing up throughout Hollywood. This was and still is a popular weapon, both effective and inexpensive. It's a Hollywood and military staple, with its instructional markings probably being as famous as the weapon itself. Front toward enemy. A humbling reminder to the average soldier, or Marine, and a slogan for always facing your enemy, or a challenge.
Which way do I mount this?
What does it say?
Front toward enemy? Oh, yeah.
Because the Claymore has been used in so many movies by so many celebrities, it has, depending on the movies watched, developed a reputation for being much more than just an anti-personnel weapon, rather having the potential to level whole compounds of bad guys. But this is of course all to be expected in some of our favorite action films. The Claymore has also become a fun way to take out enemies in the airsoft universe. And of course in the video game universe, the Claymore can have some bizarre and hilarious uses. But let's take a look at what this weapon really is for, and how it's used in the real world, while showcasing some of the movies it shows up in.
Yeah. Claymore.
What's a Claymore?
It's an anti-personnel device, Valerie.
The Claymore mine is, as the front toward enemy direction suggest, a directional anti-personnel mine, which has been used by the United States military since the 1960s to present day. Its simple and effective design means it's unlikely to be completely replaced anytime soon. It was invented by Norman MacLeod, and it was named after the Scottish sword. Claymore can be both a term for 18th century Scottish basket-hilted swords, and late medieval two-handed swords so famously seen in Braveheart. Today, the modern Claymore is 99% about base defense. They are typically set off using an M57 firing device, commonly known as a clacker.
The GPMG 50 cal clackers for the Claymores.
These clackers are connected to a blasting cap wire, and a blasting cap sets off the mine, but they can be rigged in a number of different ways. They can be daisy-chained together to be set off by just one clacker. Layers of mines can be defensively placed, though they should be spaced about 5 meters apart, not to set each other off inadvertently. Like on film, they can indeed be used in the booby trap role, with a tripwire firing system, though this is no longer a legal use of the weapon. They are not a place and forget mine. These weapons are meant to be carefully set up with the wire slowly unspooled, away from the mine, to a safe distance of at least 18 meters. And don't run, you'll just pull your mine over. The Claymore fires steel balls out to about 100 meters or 110 yards in a 60-degree arc, but they are most effective within 50 meters. The mine weighs 3.5 pounds, with 1.5 pounds of C4. The C4 is packed behind a matrix of around 700 1/8 inch or 3.2 millimeter steel balls, set into an epoxy resin. The weapon is designed more to disable than to kill, but at close range a Claymore can disable vehicles and shred both people and predators alike. After detonation, the steel balls fly forward at an incredible velocity of 4,000 feet a second. The steel balls deform into a shape similar to a .22 rimfire projectile. Though fragments from claymores can be found up to 250 meters away, chances of injury greatly decrease past 50 meters. Manning claymores in a defensive position could be extremely stressful, as you'd ideally want as many men to approach and enter the kill zone as possible before detonating the explosive, requiring nerves and patience. Though claymores are primarily a defensive weapon, soldiers in Vietnam also developed tactics for using them in quick ambushes. The development of the Claymore mine started during the Korean War, with both Canada and the United States working on projects to counter mass infantry attacks. Canada first fielded the Phoenix landmine, which sprayed steel cubes towards the enemy, but it was too large to be practical. In 1952, Norman MacLeod started work on a much smaller device that could be easily carried by infantry. The first Claymore designs had a limited effective range, and used a much smaller C3 explosive. They further used large, less aerodynamic steel cubes for projectiles. It would be later found that soft steel balls hugely improved the weapon's performance, as they didn't spall from the shock of the explosion, but deformed into a useful aerodynamic shape.
Claymore box, you can see, is pretty thoroughly saturated with solid holes. As you can see, the
Claymore mine is a very, very effective weapon.
Advancements in plastics really made the weapon state-of-the-art at the time. A plastic matrix inside the Claymore helped briefly contain the blast from the explosive, so that more of the blast energy was converted into projectile velocity, which greatly improved the speed of the steel balls. The casing also had to be specially developed to contain the explosive, which is corrosive and can be sensitive to long periods of storage and temperature change.
Garbage.
The final M18A1 Claymore could hit 30% of an attacking force at 55 yards or 50 meters, effective for a cheap weapon that can easily be set up in overlapping kill zones. The weapon would receive small upgrades throughout its life. A layer of tinfoil was added between the fragmentation matrix and the explosive, slightly improving fragmentation velocity and further protecting against corrosion. A ferrite choke was also added to prevent RF signals and lightning from triggering the mine.
Claymores are great. Got any more of them?
Yes, sir.
I'd double the number on the perimeter.
We'll get right on it, sir.
Explosions given off by the Claymore are typically pretty mundane compared to the movies, though they can be a little more impressive in sandy or dusty conditions. Likely the best explosion in the movies involving a Claymore is when Rambo attached one with an additional explosive to detonate an unlikely Grand Slam bomb relic found in the jungles of Burma. This was a 10-ton bomb that can penetrate 6 meters or 20 feet of concrete. Though movies can play up the blast effect, they can also play down the blast over pressure that travels backwards. Though the weapon is a directional weapon, there is still a lethal zone that exists behind it that can be dangerous up to 18 meters. Soldiers are to take cover when detonating the mine, as it can further shoot gravel or debris backwards. Even a concrete wall can shatter and throw debris, or funnel the blast effect. Bulletproof glass able to resist such a blast over pressure would need to be very heavy. Though Claymores make for very cinematic offensive weapons, today they are 99% used defensively, ideally covering the ranges between maximum hand grenade throwing distance and the minimum safe distance of mortars and or artillery. Today Claymores remain standard equipment for many modern militaries, with many nations producing their own variants.
Use your palm to collect it. You're going to do it 3 times when I tell you to, okay? That's it. There you go. You like that?
Right, that's on.
All right, reel your wire back in.
That, gentlemen, was the anti-personnel mine M18A1, commonly known as the Claymore mine.
Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching this little video on the Claymore mine. These are still trained with the world over, so if you have any experience or knowledge on the subject, please share in the comments section, and I hope to see you in the next video.